This is Isn't It a Goddamn Shame? Where we put our shame on blast to unchain ourselves from our shadows and finally fly free. Hey, I'm Sarah, a Virgo sun, Cancer moon, and Aries rising. I'm also an ex-evangelical Christian, a current mental health therapist, a Reiki energy healer, hypnotherapist, big girl, and in recovery from people pleasing who has over 12 years of experience in deconstructing and reconstructing from religion. I'm on a journey to the true and radical self-love that we need to heal ourselves with the hope of co-creating a better future for ourselves and future generations. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Isn't It a Goddamn Shame? I am your shameless host, Sarah. You also may know me as Abundant Sarah on Instagram and TikTok. Here we are back again, episode 3. Today, we are going to be talking all about the shame around money and different programming that happens as a result of religion. But let's just recap. We had episodes 1 and 2 come out this past week. Episode 1 was about me, and it was an episode discussing my journey and how I got to this place. It was very condensed, very short. There's so much more to pull apart there that we will be pulling apart in episodes to come. Episode 2, I was with my cousin Miranda. It was all about how her growing up in religion, becoming a missionary, her divorce, and all of the horrible experiences she had through the church and religion, and where she is at now as she's a massage therapist now, and she's more spiritual now, and she's finding a peace in her reconstruction from religion. So if you haven't caught those episodes, make sure you go back and watch or listen. Every episode will be launched on Sundays for a different type of Sunday experience. So let's get into today's episode. Let's just put it out there that all of us carry some sort of fucked up belief about money and our self-worth. That's just the way it goes. You may not really have a big block in your life because of it. But I know that I have, and I am still working through tons and tons of money blocks. Just right off the bat, a huge piece of my healing journey with money and my relationship and mindset with money is me doing work through To Be Magnetic. This is not a promotion or ad at all for them, but To Be Magnetic is a program created by a woman named Lacey Phillips, and go check out her Expanded podcast if you'd like to hear more about that. But To Be Magnetic has been a huge piece in me being able to heal different beliefs and mindsets and programming that I have had around various parts of my life, including inner child, including money, love, all the big ones. She incorporates neuroscience and psychology, and epigenetics and energetics into her work. And so it's a really beautiful, magnetic place to go to start to break down some of those nuanced things that we have picked up over our lives and be able to manifest what we truly desire and what is most aligned with our highest and our most authentic selves. So that has been a big part so far of what I've been doing here. And this past week, I was looking back at one of my journals where I was going through the journaling prompts for To Be Magnetic, specifically with the money workshops. And I was sitting there reading and just already seeing some of the things that I've really overcome, some of the beliefs that I've been working super hard to rewrite. And then I also had like a nice celebration moment for myself because I had written this back in, I think, like February, and now it is August, almost September. Um, and in this part, I had to detail all of my debt, write down who I had debt with, how much. And then I even dove deeper into figuring out the interest rates on credit cards, interest rates on loans to figure out where should I start to put my energy into paying off first. Back in February, my debt totaled to $145,000, $145,054.08. And then since February, I was able to pay off $1,162.26. Yes. And that's like a huge deal because I be struggling. I finished graduate school in May. And since I was doing my clinical internship over this whole past year, I haven't been able to work as much. I haven't been able to bring as much income in. I've also been super tired and burnt out. So to the fact that I was able to pay that much off in this during this time is honestly like I'm giving myself a pat on the back because that's a huge, huge deal. And I'm really proud of that. It definitely still carries shame around like the debt I do have, and I'm going to get more into that. But that's a huge win. And so I encourage you to look for the wins because it can be very uplifting and inspiring and motivating to keep going, keep trying, keep co-creating with the universe. The universe has your back. I also really wanted to start off this episode with a card, and I totally forgot until now. So let's get my cards out. I'm using the Kali Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild. You can check it out online. I really like this deck. This deck is also super important to me because at first, when I was younger, and also when I first saw it, I just saw like evil and dark, but like there has to be dark in order for there to be light, right? And looking more into the Kali goddesses and as I use this deck has been super expanding for me, and being able to challenge some beliefs I still have around darkness because of my being raised in religion. So let's use this deck and see what collective guidance we can get for today. As we continue to talk about money, we continue to talk about shame, and we continue to talk about religion and beliefs. So let's ask Spirit for one card that our audience can connect with. Oh, this is a beautiful card. Okay. Here it is. If you're not watching on YouTube, you won't be able to see it. I encourage you to either go onto YouTube or go onto my Instagram to see the card. It's I'll just give you a description of it. It's a adorable blue baby with a crescent moon on its forehead and a decorative half circle drawn on its forehead around the moon. And it's curled up. It's got little bracelets on its arms and its ankles, and it's being held by two strong hands. It's like being cradled in. And it's got this beautiful half crescent moon at the top glowing. And it's just a really beautiful image of both light and dark. The message says, no matter what you have done, no matter how many mistakes you have made, Kali is here for you always. Yours is the safety and sanctuary of her divine love. She is your soft place to fall, your kindest and most enthusiastic advocate. Let her shift your experience from endless tasks and ever greater expectations into a sweet relief and comforting connection. Oof. I feel like this is a message for me as well to provide this space for you all here and depend on the Spirit to help shift experiences and tasks and expectations into a beautiful, sweet release of comfort, of connection, of revelation, of healing. and to know that we are safe and we are protected and we are all here together to share our lived experiences, to hear other lived experiences, and to be able to find some healing in that. So let's move on. That was our card of the day. So today I'm talking about money. Now, I definitely grew up having some sort of belief loosely tied to the idea that money is definitely the root of evil. Even if that wasn't necessarily spoken in those words to me, there were definitely different things I heard growing up that led me to believe that. Things like I would hear my parents say, oh, I don't understand how somebody could have that big of a house when, they're barely using, a couple rooms in it. It would be so much better if they had like different kids to fill it with, or, ministries, or, what a shame, what a goddamn shame that big house is going to waste. And, the greedy people that live there, are just wasting their space and money on it. Now, that wasn't like a verbatim, but that was the message given to me by my mom. If you're listening, Mom, you may not remember saying it in those words. It was shorter, it was more fleeting, but that was the message that was passed down: was don't waste your money. Always use it for God. Money is not ours, money is God's, and we are just blessed by Him with money. Which is just like, it's just so problematic for me because, like, after all, what is money? Money is man-made. Money is a man-made construct. Like, it's not real. It's literally not real. It's just representing something else, and it's just a way to keep us trapped in this capitalistic society where they can keep us, programmed and dependent on, all of these man-made constructs. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, on one hand, I was told that money is a blessing from God. But on the other hand, I also see money as a curse from mankind. So where does that leave me? Now I'm in the middle. Yes, money is a blessing. Actually, more than that, what does money represent to you is the question. And money to me represents like security. It represents freedom. It represents comfort. It represents love. It represents passion. It represents luxury and being able to relax and enjoy life. Like, that's what money is to me. So it depends on what money is to you. What is your motivation in making money is the question. So something to think about. Also, so some mindsets that I grew up with, I'm just going to run through right here. I have a list that I wrote down. One mindset that I was given growing up is that when we are working, we are not working for money. We are working as a ministry. I heard my parents say oftentimes that what they did, what they did for work was not, they weren't in it for the money. They were in it for the ministry, because they both worked at Christian schools. They actually both gave up being public education teachers in the public school system to go work at private Christian schools. So for them, their purpose was to be ministering to others through Christian school education, and that was enough for them. For me, it's not enough for me. I am here to serve. I am here to help heal. I'm here to be a support. I am a mental health therapist. I am a Reiki master. I am a hypnotherapist. I'm also a human being with lived experiences. So yes, I am here for the collective to help people and support people through their healing journeys, through what I do for my work. But that's not all I do it for. I also do it to be compensated, right? And to get what I deserve back so that I'm able to have the comfort, able to have the security, able to have the happy, healthy life that having financial freedom grants me. Another mindset was that you have to always give 500% effort to your work and to helping others. And unfortunately, that just isn't possible. That's not sustainable. We only have 100% of ourselves. If we give all of that, then what is left for us? Right? Like, there's this idea of like, actually, Miranda said this on our last episode, so I'm going to use it. There's this masochism to religion where it's like, I must suffer to make myself more holy. So if I'm ministering, giving of myself 500% and, wearing myself out for the good of, the cause of spreading Jesus's name, therefore I'm more holy, more connected to God, more closer to God, and I'm living the good Christian life. So that's just not sustainable. That's something that I'm currently still working against, still reminding other people about, because of people that are close to me, because they see it too. People like Miranda, we can't give 500%. We just can't. We can give what we can give. And, if there's days where we don't have enough to give somebody for like a session, or even just in relationships, we have to be honest with ourselves and be honest with them and communicate and just say, listen, I don't have it in me today, right? I'm going to need to have a rain check, because at the end of the day, our energy is currency. Like, our energy is money. What we give of our energy, give of ourselves, that is energetic currency. We have to be mindful of how much of that we're giving away too, because that is also part of our health, right? We can't give all of that out and all that away all the time. We need to set time for ourselves. We need to set boundaries. We need to have realistic mindsets and not give more than we can give without sacrificing ourselves and sacrificing our health. Another big mindset was about debt. For some reason, I got the impression growing up that credit card debt was shameful. It was bad to be in credit card debt. And like, logically, I understand why, right? Like, it is a scam. That is one of the systems that is in place to further capitalism. But at the same time, like, sometimes that debt just has to happen, right? Like, sometimes that has to happen. I had to open up a new credit card last August in order to be able to spend and pay for acupuncture, because I was going through, and I have been going through, herniated discs in my lower back ever since like 2015, 2016, which means I am in chronic pain all the time. And when I push myself too hard, I've been giving 500% too long. I haven't been checking in with myself. I haven't been doing the things I need to do. It ends up with me pulling my back out, having huge inflammation. My discs are all messed up and I'm bedridden. And this just happened to me not most recently, 3 weeks ago. And I'm still on the mend after 3 weeks. When I pull out my back, all I can do is lay in bed with ice. When it's really bad, I can't walk, I can't sit. Even up until today, I still have to take breaks between sitting and then going to lay down. And if I'm going to be doing some like things around the house, I have to break it up, and realize that my energy is currency and that I need to be resting my back in between, because my back is still healing. So that's been something for me too, is the credit card debt shame, right? Like, it's bad to be in credit card debt, but for some reason, like, student loan debt is okay. Like, explain that one to me, right? So it was completely normal in my household growing up to be in student loan debt, right? It was like inevitable. It was like, you have to go to college, because if you don't go to college, you're not going to get a 4-year degree and you're not going to be able to move forward in life. And on one hand, yes, like we live in a society of systems where having a college degree qualifies you for higher positions and higher pay of salary. But at the same time, at what cost, right? And then isn't there like, isn't there a balance in that? So perhaps, like for me, like I shared my college journey on episode 1. I've also shared about it on my social media. I ended up going to 4 different colleges during my bachelor's undergraduate experience, 4 different colleges, coming out of school with a pile of student loan debt. And that completely shackled me when I came home from school and went to live back home. And all I felt like I could do at the time was just waitress and make money and be giving over. I was paying $650, almost $700 a month alone just to my private student loan. That doesn't even include my federal loan. So with my federal loan in there, I was probably paying upwards of $800, $900 a month out of college. Um, that's not sustainable, right? How am I supposed to move forward with that kind of debt? And it's so apt that I'm talking about this, when this past week Biden passed the federal student loan forgiveness plan, which I still think we could do more on, but we're not here to talk about that. That's just a little side note. I hope that you're able to qualify for that $10,000 in forgiveness. And I hope that you're able to find peace in the repayment plans that he's planning to adjust. Go check that out online if you haven't heard about it to get the details of it. But student loan debt is a scam, and something needs to change. And to expect young people to graduate with a college degree, come out of college, and be able to start their young adult lives is impossible when they have to take out such hefty loans to do it. So speaking of coming out of college and waitressing, I actually found this book. Also, I'm like a journal whore. I have like journals out the wazoo. Like I have one journal just about like my everyday life and like journaling about my emotions. I have another journal about my TBM work, the to be magnetic work, and doing the DIs. I have another journal where I have all my Reiki notes of sessions and hypnotherapy session notes for different people and client notes. And then I have another journal for money here that I haven't written in a long time that I want to show you too. And then I have found another one back from, oh God, when is this from? This had to have been from like 2016. I was saving up to go to California with my sisters, and I was writing down how much I spent each day and what I spent it on, down to the cents. And then I also was putting down how much I made and how much I was putting away like for the Cali trip, and how much I was putting away in just like my bills jars. And then I also put like when I like paid off, like I paid like my Planet Fitness bill, and like what I owed like my mom. So it's like, this is what I'm talking about. Like this to me just screams like unhealthy. Like, for example, let's find a really good one. I just had it. Okay. Tuesday, 223, makeup remover wipes, $5. Okay. Wednesday, 224. I made $83. And I also wasn't making a lot of money waitressing either, because I was at a stupid fucking place, by the way. And then that day I spent $6 on food. I spent $8 on drinks, because I was also drinking back then a lot more. I spent $147 on clothes from Torrid, which I'm sure I felt bad about. I put $79 towards my Cali jar and $10 to my bills jar. Oh my God. And I like felt bad about this. Like I would do it. I would do this. I would write it down and I'd be like, damn, Sarah, like you should have done better today. Like you're going to try better tomorrow. And I can remember like the thoughts going through my head, like, geez. And the fact that I would like write it down to the cents and like exactly what I spent is just like sad to me, because like I was holding on so tight to something, holding on so tight and giving myself so much shame and anxiety around it when all I needed to do was probably just like let go, be more intuitive, be more compassionate with myself, and probably manifest more through that. Like back then, I wasn't aware that I didn't feel deserving of having money. I didn't feel deserving of making more money. I felt worthless. I felt undeserving. I felt like I was punishing myself. I was keeping myself small in that waitressing job and not letting myself expand more and look outside of it and figure out what the heck else can I do. And I'm actually going to have Layla, my best friend, roommate, soul sister of 7+ years, come on in our next episode where I'm going to have her put me on the spot with the things that she saw me do with money, because it definitely got in the way of our friendship in a big way at times. And that was something that we had to work through, that I had to change in order to keep the friendship, right? Because things like this can tear friendships, marriages, relationships apart. Money is a huge, huge block for people that gets in the way. So that's one more example of mindsets that I'm changing. Rounding things up, rounding things down, not taking things down to the cents, not shaming myself over things I bought, and just trying to be more intuitive, more in the flow, rewriting those past beliefs, taking ownership of my debt, coming up with a plan, and working that plan. Let's see. And then also throughout college, my mom said to me, Sarah, you should really be putting $25 a month towards your loans to help pay off the interest each month. So there I was, like, not really working in college, because when do you have time to work? Like, I was working like maybe part-time. I would work at the recreation center front desk. I had a part-time work study at my first college where I was cleaning and catering. But that's just like spending money, right? And that's like going out to eat with your friends because you're tired of the cafeteria food money. But instead I was putting it towards the student loans that I was going to have to pay back anyway, like later on. Like, why was I spending $25 a month on that? Like, I could have waited, right? Like, why are we so scared of the interest? Why are we so scared of the debt? Like, it's going to be there. Like, why are we doing this to begin with then? So it's just really hard, because these were things that were holding me back in a big, big way, that I look back and I'm like, man, why was I told that? Why did I believe that? But at the end of the day, I forgive myself and I forgive my mom, because she just wanted the best for me and she just wanted to see me be able to make it through. But at the same time, she was scared and I was scared. Also, couponing in my house was a huge, huge deal. I remember going with my mom to ShopRite, and she would have this huge plastic container with little file tabs, and she would have coupons in each tab. Like this is the cereal tab, this is the personal hygiene tab, this is the meat tab, and she would go through each aisle. We would take us hours to get through ShopRite, and she'd go through each aisle, bringing out the coupon, checking the product, making sure it matched up, and then she'd take it and put it on top of the box under a rubber band and say, okay, I check out, I have to give this to them. And we'd go through each aisle, and we would we had 7 people growing up to feed in my house, which is a lot of people, 2 parents and 5 kids. And so I understand she had to save, had to cut corners. It was best to just do all the shopping in one big thing. But there I was, pushing one big cart full of stuff, and my mom pushing another big cart full of stuff, and then spending hours upon hours going through the coupons, saying hi to people in the aisles because she knew everybody in town. And it was just to save some money at checkout, right? Like, sure, I love a good deal now. And that was the whole thing. It was like the value of a good deal was like hammered into me, to the point where like I was, up until recently, I have like clothes from when I was in high school that I've still held on to for some reason. Like, let those things go. Like, they have holes in them, right? Like, underwear, holes, socks, holes, t-shirts, holes and smelly. Like, the clothes that I've held on to, like, let it go. Like, get rid of it. You don't need it anymore. Like I also find myself hoarding stuff, like, well, what if I need it someday? But here's a question, what if you don't? So I've been going through a huge purge of just getting rid of anything and everything that I haven't used in the past 6 months to a year and saying goodbye. I'm going to donate or throw it out depending on its, status, depending on how it is. It's enough. It's enough. Get it out. You don't need it. I'm only holding on to it out of my own lack of security, my own scarcity mindset. How did I get this far into the episode without saying the words scarcity mindset? I don't know, but this is what we're talking about, a scarcity mindset belief of we need this, hold on to it. This is valuable. Don't let it go. When it's all just like, it's all fake, like nothing's really real anyway. Like we're all just like in our meat suits living this experience when like we have souls inside of us that are just longing to go back to the astral plane and just be at peace and just float. But instead we're here in our fleshy meat suits with our human problems and our capitalist society. It's just ridiculous if you think about it. So I would go through thrift stores and I would go to yard sales and I would hold on to these small-minded things of ways to save money and, wearing clothes that like I should have let go years ago of. And it's just sad because I think back and that was coming out of a place of just low self-worth. Not feeling good about myself, almost taking it out on myself. There's definitely, like I said, a masochism to religion and to these beliefs that we have to acknowledge and we have to see, and then we have to be able to hold it, accept it, and then be able to let it go and do whatever healing things we need to do around it to really be able to step into this new mindset, these new beliefs that we want to get us closer to what we deserve and what we want to manifest. It's also a really good idea to like think about what is the root of like what I want to manifest and what I desire. A lot of people, don't know why they want money. So getting to the root of why do you want more money, right? What does more money mean to you? What would that mean for you? What would you be able to do? How would you feel? And finding out, okay, so it's not about necessarily the money. It's more about like the freedom and being able to like be more time in nature, the freedom of spending more time with my family, the freedom of being able to create art and music and be able to enjoy life instead of feeling like a slave to life, right? So there's like these motivations within us that we need to get to as to why do we even want that in the first place? Because one day I can imagine someone might get the things that they've been wanting for their whole life and still not be happy, because that's not like, still money isn't the root of all evil. And then money also isn't the root of all happiness either, right? It's just money. It's just currency. Like we have tons of different currency. We got energetic currency. We got emotional currency. We have physical currency. We have so many different things that we give of ourselves to other people and to ourselves and to our pets and to our kids and to our loved ones that is more than just this piece of paper that we're told has monetary currency to it. So these are things that I've let go of. This is another big journal that I've let go of. I'm going to show you this journal I started. Doesn't even have a year. Looks like October, probably of like 2018, maybe 2019, because I was just starting my in-home job, it looks like. So what I would do, and I'm going to show people on YouTube, what I would do was I would make a list of all of the things, all the bills, all the things going out that I would need to spend on one side. And then I would make on the other side a list of all the things that I was expecting money to come in, and like what I was making. And then I would see how it all balanced out or didn't balance out to find out how much more I had to make ends meet. This is so sad to me. This is so, so sad. And then on the other side, I have a brain dump of all the things that I was thinking about, which I actually find pretty helpful, um, which is good for anxiety, I feel like, is just to like brain dump all the things going on in your head of like, oh, I gotta do this, gotta do that, this, check on that, blah, blah, blah. And just be able to get it all out onto paper and then being able to cross it out just feels so good. That's another big thing for me is just being able to another big thing for me is being able to feel good about myself. But that just goes back to also this whole idea that like we have to do in order to be deserving. And that's sad too. Yeah, looking through these things, I definitely just feel sad for my past self, but I also feel very grateful for how far I've come. I feel grateful for I would feel grateful to the people in my lives that have challenged me. A huge challenger has been Layla, my best friend who I mentioned before. She's been a huge motivation and inspiring to me, and she challenges me, which is really helpful to have in your life. You don't want to just have people surrounding you telling you, yeah, like you're right. Yeah, like you're doing everything great, or like that's how it should be. It's good to have people that aren't going to always tell you what you like to hear, and they're going to gently challenge you out of love and compassion and with a mutual respect for each other that, hey, I'm not perfect either, but I also really like to see you have relief, right? So coming out of that place of like relief and feeling a sense of true connection with somebody else, that isn't just going to be based upon just hearing what we want to hear. So money's been a huge thing. I'm just doing a mental check to see, did I miss anything, Sarah? I think I hit a lot of my points. And then there's a lot more there, and we're definitely going to get to it more. Oh, look, here's a bill that I have been putting off paying. Why have I been putting off paying it? I have been scared to pay it because I have been worried that if I pay it and then I have other bills coming due, that my balance could go into overdraft and then I'd be fucked with overdraft fees. So I've been putting it off, but I have had bills go to collections before, and I don't want that to happen with this one. But at the same time, if it did, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Like shit happens. So what? Like, so what? Who am I hurting? I'm just hurting myself. And that's not okay with me at all. But at the same time, let's not shame each other for let's not shame each other for choices that each other are making, like I remember like a big part of a lot of my resentment for my parents were them trying to tell me how to spend my money and what would be most responsible to do with my money. And I go back to just like feeling like, yes, like they thought they were doing the best and they were giving me good guidance, which, now I respect. But back then, it wasn't what was most helpful for me. What was most helpful for me was somebody to see me and listen to me. And then after we have that connection, to then be able to say those hard truths. Like I just said, like I will gladly accept the hard truths. There also needs to be that connection there and that trust there and that mutual respect first. And I just didn't feel that way, especially when I graduated from college. That was a super, super depressing time for me. I felt so lost and confused. And I'll get more into that another day for sure, because there's a lot more there to unpack. But for now, I want to just remind you that you are making the best decisions for yourself. All you can do is the next best thing. There is no good and bad. Good and bad is an illusion. All we have is the middle path. That is the best path to be on, where we can see both sides of things and accept both things as true and be able to move forward with whatever's best for ourselves. I do hope that you found today's episode cathartic. I hope that there's some things that maybe you have heard that are things that you've experienced as well. Please go over to my social medias. Isn't it a goddamn shame on Instagram, all one word? It'll be linked in the show notes. And send me a DM and let me know what your experience has been like with money and belief systems around it. I would love to hear about it. I would love to share in that and just be able to find some more healing in the community. So thank you. I hope you have a blessed day. I will talk to you soon, and goodbye for now. Bye.
Bring the funk back.
Thank you so much for tuning in today to Isn't It a Goddamn Shame with Sarah. Please check out the show notes to follow Sarah on Instagram at Abundant Sarah and TikTok at Abundant Sarah. Also, you can check out the podcast page at Isn't It a Goddamn Shame, all one word, on Instagram as well. Thank you so much, and be sure to check out Sarah's other offerings at the link in her bio. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.